The Syrian army is celebrating a minor victory in which they captured a small town from the rebel forces. The British army is going to ensure that that victory is short-lived, and they're dispatching a quick reaction force to secure the village. This is going to be a complex combined arms operation. Our fighting force consists of 2 platoons of Challenger 2 tanks, 1 platoon of MCV-80 infantry fighting vehicles armed with 30mm cannons, several platoons of infantry armed with both M4s and M249s, and will be provided with artillery support consisting of 105mm artillery rounds. Unfortunately, we are not able to have air cover as there is AAA in the area that we are currently hunting. Next, if you like military strategy, tactics, and doctrine, and like seeing it applied to strategy games, I guarantee this is the channel for you, so make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more DCS combined arms operations down below. What we know about the Syrian army and this current defensive position is that they brought T-55s, BMP-1s, as well as several platoons of infantry, armed with both AK-47s and RPG-7 rockets. Our infantry fighting vehicles are instantly going to be outgunned by both the T-55s as well as the BMP-1s. So in order to mitigate this risk, we've decided to call in artillery preemptively on the fighting position. This preemptive artillery strike is not only going to suppress the BMP-1s, it's also going to provide us cover and allow our MCV-80s to get close enough to engage both the infantry as well as the BMP-1s. The BMP-1's 73mm cannon is a threat to both our tanks as well as our infantry fighting vehicles, but what I'm trying to suppress at this moment in time are the Sager missiles that are fired from the BMP-1s. The Sager missile is a wire-guided weapon system, and the gunner needs to ensure that they are able to see the target and guide the weapon all the way to its final destination. The artillery is going to create shock amongst the BMP crews as well as the infantry crews. This is going to allow us to get close enough to engage the units with our infantry fighting vehicles and possibly destroy any units that we come across. The Challenger 2's main objective is to identify any critical threats and eliminate them as fast as possible. This can either be BMP-1s, RPG teams, or T-55 tanks. Our most recent intelligence has a T-55 tanks on the northern side of this village in a defensive position dug in. Our forces are split on either side of the highway. Our infantry fighting vehicles are moving in a wedge formation up the middle. Our Challenger 2 platoons flank each side of the highway in echelon left and echelon right formations. One of the challenges that this operation poses is that there's a small hill that separates the town from our fighting force, so we need to crest that hill and then engage all the hostiles that are on the other side of it. This is an extremely dangerous maneuver, and it puts our forces at risk. The Syrians have the hill sighted and ranged with their forces, and they are just waiting for us to crest the hill and engage all of our units. However, our artillery makes quick work and suppresses the T-55s quite easily and allows our Challenger 2 platoons to not only crest the hill unchallenged, but to sight the T-55s before they can sight us. At this point in the operation, everything is going quite smooth. The Syrian army are still using dated weapon systems, and our Challenger 2 tanks and infantry fighting vehicles are easily able to eliminate those systems. The infantry fighting vehicles did suffer significant casualties though. They were damaged by the Sager 2 missiles as well as the 73mm cannons from the BMP-1s. We did try to mitigate that risk a lot by suppressing the BMPs with artillery as well as infantry, but unfortunately, we can only do so much and mitigate so much risk. Towards the end of the operation, our Challenger 2 tanks come under heavy suppressive fire from what looks to be a Syrian mortar team. While the mortar team is firing blindly, a direct hit from one of these mortar shells could cause significant damage to our Challenger tank. Suppressing and destroying that mortar team becomes our #1 priority because most of the major threats in this operation have been dealt with. In order to suppress them at this range with the Challenger 2 tanks, we begin firing high explosive shells in their general direction. But now that we have them sighted, we can call an artillery strike directly on their position and deal with them quite easily. However, there is still a major threat operating in this area of operation. Securing the village was the main goal of this operation, but there was a secondary objective that we needed to achieve. There is still an enemy AAA operating within this area, and we need to locate it and destroy it so we can open up the airspace for our fighters and helicopters. Having the airspace opened up allows for a more complex combined arms operation in the future, especially at other towns in this area. This is going to allow us to ferry troops in via helicopter or conduct close air support for any troops who are ambushed in this area. While all the external threats on the outside of the village have been dealt with, it's time to enter the urban center of this city and begin close quarters combat and urban warfare. This means we'll be going building to building, house to house, and yard to yard, destroying, clearing, and looking for any hostile forces that are still within this area of operation. One of the more fortunate things of this operation, though, is that one area overlooks the other, so we can send our Challenger 2 tanks and overlook the enemy's fortified position and just fire shells into their houses, buildings, and any places that they are currently defending. Oftentimes, the civilian and rebel forces don't think that the British military or the US forces are going to show up and provide them with fire support. The fact that we were able to respond so quickly and re-secure this village not only reinforces the fact that we do show up, but it also grants us favor and wins the hearts and minds of this civilian population. So while we were able to re-secure this village and destroy all the hostiles here, we do need to rebuild some of the infrastructure that was recently damaged by our combat operation. Don't leave just yet, because there's still a pretty gnarly clip at the end of this video, but if you enjoyed the content, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more combined arms in the future, and head on over to the community tabs for after video discussions. And peace out, guys. Here comes that clip.